Good morning and welcome to a new week at Join the Dots. So what have we got today? Well, there's an awful, I could say this every day, couldn't I? There's an awful lot happening and it's just ridiculous. But what it tells you is we are so close to the edge on everything. Just give you sort of a few headlines, okay? Let's think. In China, we have a general deflation, okay? We have the consumer tapped out because their property has gone down substantially, 30 to 50%. And in some areas, it will be down 70, 80%. I remember the crash of '08. I was in Dubai. Some areas, property fell 80%, because it was so hyped up. Some areas, maybe only 50, but 50%. So in China now, we've got anything that isn't really sought after. There's no price. There's no price. No one will buy. There is no market. Okay, so it's all right looking at these stats that they present you with. There is no market. The only market will be in the core areas of maybe Beijing, Shanghai, etc., and Shenzhen, the large cities. Maybe. But you still won't find a ready buyer, and he's ready to negotiate. So their consumption, their consumer, is on the floor. Now, he's not only on the floor there, but he's on the floor because his job's threatened. Okay, his job is threatened. Prices, consumer prices, or CPI rather, has fallen just non-stop now. They have deflation, but, and I've mentioned this before, their food prices, the food price index rose 3% last month. Not a year, a month. So their 10-year government bond is paying 1.5% a year, and their food prices rose 3% last month. Can you see where this is headed? And it's coming to a town near you soon. I've mentioned in recent videos, we're going to have a food supply crunch, and we're going to have the weaponisation of food through prices, through availability, through supply. We're going to have weaponisation of food. Now, the best one to look at for this story, and where I've picked a lot of the information from, is Lei's Real Talk. I can't recommend this lady enough. LEI''S Real Talk. All about China, but you have to, as I'm sure you do now, having listened to me go on and on and on for 3 weeks, you have to understand how key China is to the world. This world, at this time. It is the epicentre of everything. Forget the wars. I can't say that in a nice way, can I? I don't mean that. I mean, but in terms of what's going to affect your life, it is China. It is not Ukraine. It is not Iran. It is not anything else. It's China. Okay, so Lei's Real Talk, please watch it. Talking about food, the most basic thing in the world for us when it comes to a crisis. And then turning that food issue into a monetary issue, then I'm going to recommend you look at Maniko64, who talks about the One-in-a-Millennium monetary event. That's what we're heading for. And I think I've made that clear in all the videos I've given you. We're heading for a once-in-a-millennium monetary, I call it a reset, because the whole system has to break. And it has to be reset with new rules, like a Bretton Woods, only 100 times more, okay? Because this system is broken. Everything is broken. And the politics and the geopolitics and the likely military consequences and then food for the community, it's not good, okay? Because when this gets reset, do you remember COVID when it first hit? That first month, chaos, total chaos. Everyone living in fear, everyone ordering masks, big masks, hazmat suits. I've heard of people going into meetings wearing a hazmat suit. And what was it? What was it really? According to the statistics, no more people died than normally die of flu in that period. And of course, no one died of flu in that period. How strange. How strange. No one died of flu. They all died of COVID. Weaponisation of data, weaponisation of information, weaponisation of anything to control you is coming, all right? It's coming. And food is the most basic. Another sort of link there, California. California has just doubled electricity prices. Doubled. So you've got falling house prices, you've got chaos on the streets with ICE trying to get rid of illegal immigrants and Newsom and the mayor trying to stop them taking the immigrants away and actually now paying the immigrants to stay. So Trump's offering them $1,000 and a free flight out, and the California government's offering them money and education and health and everything free to stay. Can you see the chaos? Anyway, let's not get too lost in that. Let's think now of what we've achieved in this first 3-4 weeks of Join the Dots. Because I've tried to tell you these things, not to scare you, really not to scare you, but to tell you the truth. Because you're not going to see it in the media. You're not going to see these things in the media. You're not going to hear about Chinese food going up 3% in a month. You're not going to hear about Californian electricity prices doubling. You're not going to hear these things, are you? They don't think you're clever enough to understand what these things mean. Or, I might put it another way, they're not clever enough to understand what these things mean. So they don't think it's news. Do they? They don't think it's news. Well, it is. And it's going to affect us. We have a once-in-a-millennium monetary event taking place. And just to show you this, I mean, I looked at my stats on my 3 investments that I've told you about. 3 core investments, gold, silver, and XRP in the crypto space. Okay? Bitcoin has had a fabulous month. It's up, what's Bitcoin up? 20% in the last month. XRP, 40%. Think about XRP. Think about it. Do your research. Go and do your research. Find out what it means. Because in as few words as I can, it's probably going to be the ledger on which most of the assets on this planet are going to be kept in the future. And that means an incredible, incalculable amount of numbers, digits, control mechanism. Yes, it'll all be about control. Central bank digital currencies, your property will be on a ledger, your credit card will be on a ledger, your life will be on a ledger, your health service will be on a ledger, all controllable. That's where we're headed. That's where we're headed. It's not a good place. However, all we can do, as I said, is we can make enough money out of the chaos and the madness to at least be in a better place on the other side, because we can't stop it. It would be great to think we could. But when you listen to the social commentators out there, when you listen to the financial commentators out there, they all merge, and it's beautiful to see. For me, it's beautiful to see. If I look at the likes of the doctors, Malhotra, Malone, McCullough, Corey, Cole, if I look at what they said, and I look at the social commentators, Neil Oliver is brilliant. Do listen to Neil Oliver on GB News. Neil Oliver is brilliant. His monologues, fantastic. Listen to him. Listen to Russell Brand. I personally can't, because he's all flamboyant and he's all over the place and he's got his chest showing and his shirt. I get distracted as well. However, when I listen to him, his commentary is telling us the same thing as some of the most leading scientists. Go to Robert Malone's Substack. Go to Robert Malone's Twitter feed on X. Go to it. Read it. Read it. He's a brilliant social commentator, scientist, and just common sense guy. And when you hear the common sense and the social commentary and the science, you realise, and what does he keep? He keeps emus, he keeps horses. He's a human in this world of where we lack a lot of humanity at the top. He's a human person. And he's now, of course, co-chair of the new vaccine committee set up by Robert Kennedy. So when I wrote to Robert Malone and he wrote back in the early stages of COVID, little did I know he'd end up being on the vaccine committee. There you are. It's a small world. So there we are. Things are merging. Everything will merge in the end. Everything will merge. We have to be in the right position. And I think we are. I think the markets I've chosen, for me, you do your research, you work at it, you spend time on it, you work 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, so you can do a little bit of work on your money, because it's, in the end, your money will probably be more than you'll earn in the next year. So how much time should you spend on it? Not 30 seconds while watching the telly, taking a call from a broker. You need to work at it. You really do. I'll tell you a long story tomorrow about XRP and how I found XRP, or how it found me. And it will show you that once you hear something, you need to do some work. Either confirm it or deny it, but you need to do some work. You can't just accept what you're told. Okay, so thanks very much. Join me tomorrow. I think we're going to see an incredible week this week. Gold, silver, they're all looking very, very strong. The dollar is looking weak. The 10-year Treasury is moving up, which is a very dangerous sign on the yield. Everything is wrong, okay, in terms of normal life. So flip the normal life, flip the pyramid, Exter's inverted pyramid, flip it, and then work in the new world that is coming. Thanks very much.